Then to Now, the series where we take the WWF and WCW from 1992 all the way up to the modern day. And in this episode, we have got our first episode of Superstars post the Royal Rumble. Just because of timing, unfortunately, we had 2 WWF episodes back to back. It happens sometimes. When we have a pay-per-view, a WWF pay-per-view into a Superstars, it's going to be 2 WWF episodes in a row. And to be fair, if we ever... And it will probably be the same for WCW pay-per-views. Not counting the clashes, obviously, because they're on Tuesdays. But we kick off this show, the first show post-Rumble, with the announcement that we are having a quick change of our commentary team. We are losing Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, from commentary, just because he's now fully part of the Ric Flair act after the tear in my eye promo from last night. And in his stead, we are getting Reverend Slick to come in and just be a temporary fix until I can get some proper commentary stuff sorted out. Because I do want to completely rejig the commentary of both shows, if we're being honest, which may even feature some people jumping from company to company, just as a better fit. But that's our commentary for tonight, and the show opens fully with Ric Flair coming out. Flair comes out and we get the celebration promo. We've got Heenan and Perfect with him, but they're more in the background. They're not really directly involved with this. It's Flair doing the talking here, and he gets a 78. And Flair's talking about how he won the Rumble, and he eliminated more people than anyone else, so nobody can even claim that he didn't deserve to win it. He came from number 3. Last night, it wasn't fair to Flair, as our good old friend Bobby Heenan said. And yet Flair still came from number 3 and won the Royal Rumble. He gets interrupted by Hulk Hogan. Hogan comes out and he starts going, you know what? You wouldn't have won the Rumble without me. If Sid can eliminate me, Sid could have eliminated you, but I gave you a hand. Not because I like you, I don't like you. I famously don't like you. But Sid has just got too jealous. And he needed to be put in his place. So, Flair, I think it's only fair, if we're talking about fairness, that at WrestleMania, you face me for the WWF World Championship. And Flair goes to hit Hogan. Hogan ducks it, hits Flair, starts wailing on Flair. Heenan and Perfect escape because Heenan's not a wrestler and Perfect is injured. But a guy with a hood comes in, and as Hogan stands up, sweet chin music. They aligned sort of in the Rumble, and it's finalised here. Who takes the hood off? Shawn Michaels is part of the Ric Flair act. Gets a 73, a 78 for Flair's promo, a 78 for Hogan's promo, and a 65 for the Shawn Michaels reveal. Plus, we got a storyline idea, which was a success, even though we did lose heat. It's a shame. And our first match of the night sees Sid wrestling. He was just mentioned in that previous segment, but he's wrestling here. And he just comes out and he just beats the Repo Man in 3 minutes with a massive chokeslam. They have great chemistry in those 3 minutes. A 68 for Sid, 62 wrestling and 62 crowd. 57 overall is slightly disappointing, but the crowd, I guess, just isn't that hot yet. We then get an interview backstage. Gene Okerlund is talking to Kerry Von Erich. And Von Erich says, you know what? Shawn was right about one thing. I should be using my family's name. There is no more Texas Tornado. If Shawn wants to push my buttons, he gets what he wants. I'll challenge him to a rematch next week But this rematch isn't going to be Shawn Michaels versus the Texas Tornado, because you're right. Shawn Michaels beat the Texas Tornado. This match will be Shawn Michaels versus Kerry Von Erich. And Shawn can keep his new friends in the back. This is between me and him. Man to man. Two Texas boys going head to head. It's a 45. The Nasty Boys get the first shot at the tag team titles, and they technically, well, not technically, they win. But they don't win the titles. They win by DQ after the Natural Disasters run in and attack them. Continuing that feud about Jimmy Hart's loyalties and essentially giving us the payoff for what the segment of the Rumble was setting up, that yes, we're getting the Natural Disasters have ditched Jimmy Hart. They've fired Jimmy Hart and they're on their own and they're out for vengeance now. So yeah, the Legion of Doom retain their titles by DQ. And afterwards, Natural Disasters just start wailing on the Nasty Boys, and Jimmy Hart is just stood there, not entirely sure what to do. Because where do Jimmy's loyalties lie? Like, the Natural Disasters have binned him off, but that doesn't mean he's binned them off. Gets a 57 for the brawl. We then get a backstage promo, and it's Hogan in the trainer's room with an ice pack on his face after the Sweet Chin music, just making it a big deal. And Sid comes in. And he says, you know, Hulk, I was stood in the waiting for my match when Michaels attacked you. I was coming out anyway. I could easily have come out and helped you. But, you know what? Sometimes fair play is fair play. You want to talk about jealousy? I eliminated you fair and square. But you were jealous that I beat you. So you decided to cheat. You weren't in that match. You would have been eliminated by me. But you decided to grab my arm and pull me out of the ring. Sometimes, fair play is fair play. I'm willing to end whatever this is between us. Just reach out your arm and I'll grab it. You know all about that, don't you, Hulk? 72. Hogan struggled. Both guys struggled improvising. That surprises me, actually. I'm very shocked about that. We'll then get a quick match here, literally 5 minutes. Bulldog defeats the Berserker with a running power slam. We're trying to heat up the Bulldog. We want the Bulldog to be a top star. Of course, we're going to London in the summer, and we want the Bulldog to be the main event guy going into London. Because weirdly, he's only a 70 pop in London at the moment, and I don't think that's right. I remember by the time he went to London last time, he was in the mid-90s. I don't know if that was genuinely us doing that work or not. Gets a 50 rating, though. Randy Savage is chatting to Gene Okerlund backstage, and he's saying, you know what, yes, I went after Jake Robertson. Did it cost me the WWF World title? Yes. Do I regret it? Not in the slightest. Because, you know what, Savage... Jake. Wow, pick a name. Jake... You caused my life a living hell for the last 6 months. You hijacked my wedding. You attacked me with your snake. And you know what? I'm fed up of this all being a one-way thing. Did I cost myself something? Yes. But I took you out. And that's what I'm going to do now. I am going to make your life a living hell. You will not get a chance again. Anything you get, I will be there to stop. Because that's what this is now. This isn't a vendetta. This is revenge. Gets a 70 rating, advances the snakebite story. Animal and Hawk cut a quick promo backstage. We've beaten one of them. 2 more teams to go. And you know what? They're already falling apart. We would have beaten the Nasty Boys anyway. And you know what? Yeah, technically they have a win against us. So, down the line, I'm sure they will get another shot at us. And they probably deserve it. But this is why we wanted all 3 of you. Because we knew you were too jealous of each other. You couldn't handle it. So whoever's next, bring it on. And watch as the cracks form. We then get a tag team match as Sergeant Slaughter and Tatanka defeat Haku and the Barbarian by DQ when basically the Barbarian and Haku just decide to start wailing with a chair on Tatanka and Slaughter. It loses heat in the Slaughter and the Fushigun story, and unfortunately the Barbarian doesn't work with Fuji. That is a massive shame. Might need to be a bit of a redirect there, because that was this is our big start of a faction storyline. And if he doesn't work with the manager of the faction, we might have an issue. Simple promo here. IRS and Ted DiBiase come in, and they say, I feel like natural disasters avoided their opportunity here. They're no longer Jimmy Hart guys. We are. We still trust Jimmy. So I think that means we are next. Gets a 56 rating. And IRS and Jimmy Hart don't have chemistry. Jesus Christ, these managerial stuff is not going well for us. That's 2 storylines where the chemistry doesn't work. It's a 56 rating. The Mountie is backstage, ironically also with Jimmy Hart. And he's talking about losing to Bret Hart and how he's pissed off about it. And says he's going to come back for the IC title when Piper's going to get this shot. That's fair. But I am next. Crush comes in and says, you lost. Why are you still going on about this? You lost. You failed. If anyone deserves to get this next shot of the IC title, it's me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I don't care if you or anyone is standing in my way. Paul Bearer and The Undertaker are in their workshop. Undertaker's working away, chiseling something into a grave, into a coffin. And Paul Bearer talks about how The Undertaker is the 90s of WWF. And there are so many people that people want to claim to be the future. But there is only one. The Undertaker will dominate all of you. He will be the man to take the WWF to its dark future. And anyone who gets in his way will rest in peace. And the Undertaker turns the coffin around, the camera pans over, and it shows an engraved Union Jack. You can see on screen who that's referring to. It's a 60 rating. We get a promo with the Hart family. Owen is a little bit annoyed at Bret for the whole not helping him when he got eliminated. But Bret makes the right point. Hey, I was fighting 2 guys. If anything, I could have used your help at that point rather than you trying to go on your own. Look, I'm not going to say that I don't have any fault for you being eliminated. I probably do. But you have some fault as well, Owen. Jim sort of acts as the mediator. Look, Brett, my match is the main event tonight. I'm facing Piper after I eliminated him last night. Piper's your rival. But let me deal with this. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to face Piper. Please. Let me have this chance to show that I can do this. And we go into that match. And it goes 16 minutes. Neidhart was really off his game. That's a shame. I've given him this big chance in the main event. And he's kind of fucked it up. That's on to you, mate. Gets a 66, which isn't great. Piper gets a 68, a 49 for Jim. It's a shame, you know. But Piper picks up the win, goes 16 minutes with a sleeper. It's our big main event match. Not going to say I'm happy with it. What did we get overall? A 61. Again, we're losing pop. And we've fallen back under 5 storylines. This is going to be a nightmare. I think this is more stressing me out than the length of this fucking series. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Next episode well, we've got B shows first. Don't know why I'm going about next episode. We've got B shows first. What am I talking about? Let's get into those. Lord beats Tatanka with a running power slam. The Mountie cuts a promo on Crush. Repo Man, Haku and the Barbarian defeat Papa Shango and the Bushwhackers. A video featuring Earthquake and Typhoon. Shawn Michaels explains why he attacked Hulk Hogan. Bret Hart responds to Roddy Piper's challenge. The Berserker defeats Skinner with a camel clutch. Coco Beware defeats El Matador Tito Santana with a bird buster. And the show gets a 52 overall. On to the next B show. WWF Wrestling Challenge starts with Coco Beware defeating Skinner with the bird buster. The Warlord defeats Greg Valentine with a full Nelson. We get a recap of Bret Hart versus the Mountie from the Royal Rumble. We get a recap of Earthquake and Typhoon's attack on the Nasty Boys from Superstars. The Mountie cuts a promo on Crush. Big Boss Man cuts a promo hyping himself up. Papa Shango and the new foundation of Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart defeat Repo Man and the Orient Express. We are starting to present Shango as a babyface. And the show ends with Mr. Perfect welcoming Shawn Michaels into the fold. Overall, we get a 56. And I'm going to have to come into this part to do the final section of the episode, which is to say thank you all for watching, essentially. That next episode will be Clash of the Champions, and the reason why I'm having to do this here is because as soon as I push that finish show button and go through the post-show screen, I'm going to be booking Clash of the Champions. And I don't want to spoil anything. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have, make sure you leave a thumbs up and comment down below what you thought and where you think we're going. We've got a Saturday night's main event in February and then WrestleMania at the end of March. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.